What's up? What's up, y'all? What's going on? Let me know if you guys can hear me. What's going on? What's going on? This is breaking news. This is breaking news. It's a little late breaking news, but it's breaking news. It's breaking news. Oh, okay. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Let me know. Can you guys hear me? You can. Good. Make sure y'all hit that like button on this video. Don't forget, okay? What's up, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. This is a spontaneous live, so you might have got a notification. Some people may not get a notification. But I did want to talk about this before El Teddy goes live, of course. This afternoon. All right, let me speak to who is in the house. I see we got Miss Faith in the house. Grown woman, don't try me, girl. What's the tea? Queen Sage, Sharice, what's up, boo? What's going on, Ty? How are you? What's up, Kashori's Kitchen? So y'all know I try to keep you guys updated on things like this that are going on. So if you guys can remember correctly, right after the Diddy trial, sort of when, they started talking about the Epstein files more seriously, Maurene Comey, who was the head prosecutor in the Diddy trial and the prosecutor for how do you say that child's name? Maxwell, and Epstein over there. They she was fired by the DOJ, which is of course Trump, pretty much, right? Well, honey child, she has filed a lawsuit. Now, if y'all can remember correctly, Trump and her dad don't get along and didn't get along. It's a whole bunch of mess around there, okay? So, what's up, Omar? What's up, Hillen, Miss Hillen? What's going on, Mocha Drop, Kashori's Kitchen? So, we're going to get into this here really quick. Give me 1 second. Let me finish pulling this up. All right, let's get into it. Now, I am reading from KWTX, okay? KWTX. So it says, fired federal prosecutor Maurene Comey sues Trump administration to get her job back, honey. She wants her job back. What's up, Omar? Happy birthday to you again, my brother. All right. Former federal prosecutor Maurene Comey sued the U.S. government on Monday to get her job back, saying that her firing was for political reasons, okay? And it was unconstitutional is what she said. She goes on to say that in her lawsuit in Manhattan federal court, blamed the firing on the fact that her father is James Comey, a former FBI director, or because of her perceived political affiliation and beliefs, or she's saying that it could be both. Comey is seeking to be reinstated as well as a declaration that her firing was unlawful and a violation of the separation of powers clause in the U.S. Constitution. We're worried about the U.S. Constitution, right? Oh, wow. We're worried about the U.S. Constitution. Okay. Now, defendants have not provided an explanation whatsoever for the termination of Ms. Comey. In truth, there is no Lord have mercy. There's no litigant There is no explanation. Sorry, y'all. Legitimate explanation. Girl, what is I'm going through? There's no legitimate explanation, the lawsuit says. Now, Comey, who successfully prosecuted hundreds of cases since becoming an assistant U.S. attorney in 2015, was notified of her dismissal in an email with an attachment saying that she was being fired pursuant to Article 2 of the United States Constitution and the laws of the United States, the lawsuit says. Now, Comey was fired as the FBI director by President Donald Trump in 2017. The lawsuit noted that he has since written a memoir critical of Trump and has continued to criticize Trump and his administration, including a social media post in May that Trump and others perceived as threatening. This is interesting, isn't it? What y'all think about this thus far? This is interesting, ain't it? Hey, Mama Bees, what's going on, Miss LaQuanda, Miss Lori, Dee Dee, Brittany, what's up? Okay. Now, the lawsuit noted that Maurene Comey's firing in July came the day after her supervisors had asked her to take the lead on a major public case, and 3 months after she received the latest outstanding review. Now, the politically motivated termination of Ms. Comey under Article 2 of the Constitution upends bedrock principles of our democracy and justice system, the lawsuit said. Now, Assistant United States Attorney attorneys like Comey must do their jobs without fearing or favoring any political party or perspective, guided solely by the law, the facts, and the pursuit of justice. Named as a defendant in the lawsuits were, among others, the Justice Department, the Executive Office of the President, the U.S. Attorney General Pamela Bondi, the Office of Personnel Management, and the United States. A message for comments from the Justice Department was not immediately returned. Now, Comey's July 16th firing came amid a spat of dismissals of prosecutors by the Justice Department without explanation, raising alarm that the civil service protections meant to prevent terminations for political reasons were being overlooked. Comey's lawsuit noted that she was employed with protections under the Civil Service Reform Act governing how and why she could be terminated, including specific prohibiting things, against termination for these reasons. Now, it goes on to say that her termination was violated every one of those protections. It violated every one of those protections, says in the lawsuit. Now, the Justice Department also fired some prosecutors who worked on cases that have provoked Trump's tail, in other words, okay, including some who handled U.S. Capitol riot cases and lawyers and support staff who worked on special counsel Jack Smith's protections of Trump. Okay, it goes on. We're almost finished here. It goes on to say that she became a rising star in her office for her work on the case against financier Jeffrey Epstein and his one-time girlfriend, British socialite Maxwell. And the recent prosecution of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Now, Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence after her December 2021 conviction on a ex-trafficking charge that she was recently transferred from a prison in Florida to a prison camp in Texas. Now, Epstein took his own life in a federal jail in August of 2019 as he awaited trial on ex-trafficking charges. Combs is awaiting to be sentenced next month in October after his conviction on prostitution-related charges after he was exonerated in July of more than serious of more serious trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges. Okay, so that's pretty much the brunt of this. Um, let me see. I wanted to check one other thing here really quick. Uh-oh. Is this it? No. Okay, I'm just seeing what everybody's reporting. It seems like the same. So, just in a nutshell, what's going on, Terry, K. Calloway, Jamie, Mocha Drop? Hey, everybody. So, just in a nutshell, in case if you're just now joining us, in case if y'all did not remember, back in July, Maurene Comey was fired by the DOJ, of course, which is, the Trump administration, in other words. Mhm. The DOJ and the Trump administration for terminating her of her job. Okay. And unfortunately, she is saying that she wants her job back, honey. And she is saying that they did this and they didn't have any rights to do it up under the Constitution. That's what she's arguing in her lawsuit. So I find this very interesting. I really do. I actually told y'all, if y'all remember back when this first happened, I told y'all her and her dad was coming for the Trump administration. I told y'all that. I didn't know how it was going to be done, but here we have it, and a lawsuit was filed. Hey, Lakeisha, what's going on, boo? How you doing? If anyone is into podcasts, check out John Sweeney's series on Maxwell. I think it's called Hunting. Hunting. How do you say her first name? Okay, so that's good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. This is again, this, like I said, I think that this is quite interesting to me. Um, she's basically arguing that it was unconstitutional for her to be doing this. Well, she's suing the Trump administration and the DOJ, which of course is pretty much, Hey, Nisa. Dee Dee, hopefully that answers your question. So she filed it. There's multiple defendants, actually. The DOJ, hold on, let me get back to it. Because it named multiple defendants. It said the DOJ, where is it? Named as defendants in the lawsuit were among the Justice Department, the Executive Office of the President, the U.S. Attorney General Pamela Bondi, U.S. Attorney General Pamela Bondi, and the Office of Personnel Management in the United States. Now that's just who we see as defendants right now. I wonder if I can get a copy of this lawsuit. I wonder if we can get somebody to pull it up. Because I really would like to, I would just like to see the factual and who the defendants are. Because I would like to know if she's actively suing Trumpisha. I would like to know that. I would definitely like to know if she's actively suing Trumpisha. But, child, I thought that this was interesting. So I said, well, let me go live real quick before El Teddy go live to give my thoughts on this. But again, I told y'all back then, right after the Diddy trial, right after we got the verdict for the Diddy trial, I told y'all back then that something like this was going to happen. Let's see. Let me see what CNN is saying. This is going to be very interesting, y'all. Oh, wait, y'all, I think I got it. Okay, wait a minute. I got it. I got the lawsuit. Okay, so she is suing the United States Department of Justice. She is suing Francie Hakes, Pam Bondi, Executive Office for United States Attorneys, Office of Personnel Management, Executive Office of the President. So she's suing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 defendants, because She's also suing the United States of America. Okay, let me see. How many pages is this? Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. I might not have time to read the full thing, but I want to get to the factual allegations, so give me 1 second. There's a lot of footnotes in this lawsuit, too. Well, I'm just scrolling and I see Hillary Clinton now. Following. Okay. Oh, y'all, this is... Okay, give me 1 second. I actually have, it's 39 pages, but I want to get to the factual stuff versus the full lawsuit. So give me 1 second. What does this say? This is the complaint, the parties, jurisdiction and venue, factual allegations. Y'all want to get into it? Y'all want to get into the factual allegations? Are y'all interested? Y'all let me know. If y'all interested, I don't mind reading it. It looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages. Y'all do? Okay. We can get into it real quick. And then after this, I'll send you guys over to El Teddy. All right, factual allegations. Miss Comey served as the assistant United States attorney in the Southern District of New York. Miss Comey graduated from a college of William and Mary College in 2010, and from Harvard Law School, where she served on the Harvard Law Review in 2013. After graduating from law school, Ms. Comey worked for a year as an associate at, I'm just going to say DPLLP in New York City. She moved into the public sector after that, serving as a law clerk in the U.S. Oh, girl. Okay, there we go. She served as a law clerk. Lord have mercy. And the U.S. District Judge Loretta A. Peresca, then Chief Judge of the Southern District of New York. Ms. Comey completed her clerkship and decided to build a career in public service. She applied to I think that's supposed to be several. She applied to be, and I'm just gonna say what I assume they mean right here, assistant United States Attorney in the Southern District of New York in March of 2015, and after an interview process with the Assistant U.S. Attorney in the Civil and Criminal Divisions of the office, as well as the executive staff, she was hired by Preet Bharara, then United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York. She began her employment as a AUSA in November of 2015. Ms. Comey, ensuing decades of service and exemplary in her tenure at SDNY, she personally handled 11 criminal trials, secured over 200 convictions, briefed and argued multiple appeals before the Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, and supervised numerous additional federal investigations, trials, and convictions. Her performance consistently earned her accolades and promotions, as well as outstanding ratings in her annual review, along with glowing commentary, including, for example, Ms. Comey is highly respected. She is a leader in this office. She is a brilliant lawyer and a gifted supervisor. And in the lawyer's office, she is the one you turn to for legal excellence. I'm not about to read all them reviews. Here we go. As further, wait a minute, y'all. I really don't care about her background. I need to get to this stuff where she talking about Trump. That's what I want to do. Hold on, y'all. Because it's talking about her upbringing and all of that kind of stuff. Her child, I don't care. Okay, Miss Comey moved to the Manhattan office in 2017 and joined the Violent Organized Crimes Unit, where she prosecuted dozens of defendants for violent offenses, including racketeering and unaliving. In September of 2019, Ms. Comey moved to the Public uh, Corruption Unit, where she prosecuted bribery and other cases involving abuse of public trust. With her significant experience prosecuting matters involving violence and sexual exploitation, her SDNY supervisors assigned Ms. Comey to work on the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein in the spring of 2019. She was part of the team that conducted grand jury proceedings and secured an indictment against Mr. Epstein for sexual trafficking and conspiracy. Mr. Epstein was arrested on July the 6th of 2019. Ms. Comey was one of the three prosecutors who then represented the United States in Mr. Epstein's criminal trial, successfully defeating his request for bail pending trial. Mr. Epstein died in federal jail on August the 10th of 2019 while awaiting trial. As a result, the charges against him were immediately dismissed. Jeffrey Berman, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, served in the first Trump administration, supervising Ms. Comey's work on the investigation and prosecution of Mr. Epstein at the time. At the direction and under the supervision of the SDNY leadership, Ms. Comey and her team continued to investigate Mr. Epstein's criminal operations after Mr. Epstein died. They uncovered details that implicated Mr. Epstein's former girlfriend and collaborator, Maxwell. On or about July the 2nd of 2020, the SDNY, through Ms. Comey and her team, obtained the indictment charging Ms. Maxwell with enticing a minor to travel and engage in criminal sexual activity, transporting a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, and conspiracy to commit both of those offenses, and perjury in connection to the two sworn depositions. Ms. Comey and her team subsequently obtained a superseding indictment, additionally charging Ms. Maxwell with conspiracy to commit trafficking of a minor and trafficking of a minor. So they repeat that twice. At the direction under the supervision of the SDNY leadership, Ms. Comey successfully led the investigation and prosecution of Ms. Maxwell, including serving as one of the lead trial lawyers in a month-long trial, and secured justice for many victims of Mr. Epstein and Ms. Maxwell. On July 29th of 2021, a jury convicted Ms. Maxwell of 5 counts, including trafficking of a minor, conspiracy, and transportation of a minor for illegal sexual activity. Ms. Maxwell was sentenced in June of 2022 to 20 years in prison for her role in the trafficking scheme. U.S. Attorney Berman and later acting U.S. Attorney Audrey Sturz, both serving in the first Trump administration, were deeply involved in supervising the investigation and prosecution of Ms. Maxwell during their tenures. In addition, also at the direction and under the supervision of the SDNY leadership, Ms. Comey handled the investigation and indictment of Dr. Robert Hayden, a gynecologist who criminally sexually abused dozens of patients for decades at Columbia University and New York Presbyterian Hospital. Mr. Hayden was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his depraved crimes. Ms. Comey carried a substantial caseload beyond the high-profile matters that she handled. Those other um, those other cases featured a large volume of violence and work-related cases, including the prosecution of 40 defendants charged with unaliving, over 80 additional defendants charged with racketeering conspiracy, and 80 additional defendants charged with narcotic offenses. In addition to Ms. Comey's, handled white collar cases such as the prosecution of multiple um, correctional officers for attempting bribes from inmates to exchange for smuggling, contraband, and a union president and volunteer fire department treasurer for embezzlement, and a senior advisor at the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network for unlawfully disclosing suspicious activity reports. In February of 2021, in recognition of her work, with the approval of the Department of Justice, Ms. Comey was promoted to Deputy Chief of Violent and Organized Crime Unit. Why does it sound like some over there on Law and Order SVU or something? She was promoted again in June of 2021 to co-chief of Violent Organized Crimes Unit, and then once again in January of 2023 to co-chief of Public Corruption Unit. All three times, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York approved her promotions. Aubrey Stratus, the first two, and Damian Williams, the third. And if y'all don't know Damian Williams, he was the one that charged, or he came down with the indictment on Diddy and something else recently, and then he resigned from his position. In addition, in May of 2023, the Director of Executive Office for the United States Attorneys awarded Ms. Comey and her team with the prestigious Director's Award of Superior Performance by the legislative team with respect to the Maxwell trial. Ms. Comey's outstanding work continued over the next years, during which she successfully prosecuted and supervised several more prominent cases. For example, at the direction and under the supervision of the Southern District of New York leadership, Ms. Comey oversaw the team that indicted and tried former New Jersey Senator Robert Mendez and his wife and 3 other business associates on federal bribery charges in September of 2023. Ms. Comey and her co-chief closely supervised the 9-week trial, after which a jury found Mr. Mendez guilty of all 16 counts, including bribery and conspiracy to act as a foreign agent. He subsequently resigned from the Senate, and in January of 2025, he was sentenced to 11 years in prison. Further, at the direction and under the supervision of the Southern District of New York leadership, in February of 2024, Ms. Comey and her co-chief oversaw the team that charged 70 current and former employees of the New York City Housing Authority with bribery and extortion for accepting cash payments from contractors in exchange for awarding the Housing Authority contracts, the largest number of federal bribery charges brought on a single day. After serving as a supervisor for several years, Ms. Comey requested that the U.S. Attorney Damian Williams be to permit her, to return full-time to trial work, which he granted, appointing Ms. Comey as senior trial counsel in the Public Corruption Unit in August of 2024. Most recently, Ms. Comey joined the prosecution team that tried Sean Diddy Combs. Mr. Combs was indicted and arrested in September of 2024 and charged with racketeering, trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Ms. Comey's Southern District of New York supervisors asked her to join the team after Mr. Combs was charged, and she served as a lead prosecutor in the 2-month trial against him from May through July of 2025. Mr. Combs was convicted of transportation with the intent to commit prostitution and now awaits sentencing, and he faces up to 20 years in prison. All right. Notwithstanding that Ms. Comey's demonstrated leadership capabilities and significant um, prosecution experience, she spent her entire career as an assistant United States attorney at the end of a long line of supervisors within the Department of Justice, even at her highest position as a unit co-chief approval authority for certain prosecutions and functions. Okay, let's see here. All right, here we go. The Criminal Division Deputy Chief's Criminal Division Chief and the United States Attorney, she had no authority to set DOJ's policies. Instead, she implemented the policies set by her supervisors. Moreover, certain I'm not even trying to say that word, y'all. Most of her functions and many of Ms. Comey's cases could not be performed without express approval from the Department of Justice officials outside of the Southern District of New York's own leadership chain. For example, violent cases that involve the use of electronic surveillance, a wiretap in other words, required approval of senior DOJ leaders who oversaw the electronic surveillance unit at DOJ headquarters. Additionally, racketeering charges required the approval of senior DOJ leaders within the violent crime and racketeering section of the DOJ headquarters. In certain cases implicating national security, required approval of senior DOJ leaders within the National Security Division of the DOJ headquarters. Cases involving the investigation of current and former United States politicians required the approval of the senior of DOJ leaders within the public section of the DOJ headquarters. In similar instances, Ms. Comey worked as a prosecuting attorney and unit supervisor involved implementing decisions made by a chain of supervisors and approval authorities stretching from the Southern District of New York Criminal Division to the Office of Attorney General. All right, so here's where we get into everything. Hey, Miss Tiffany. Hey, Miss Felicia. Listen, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for your boy. If you appreciate me reading this, y'all can tap the Catch app or however you see fit to bless the channel, okay? All right. Now, Ms. Comey is terminated without advance notice or cause on July the 16th of 2025. Here's where we get into the meat and potatoes. On July the 15th of 2025, Ms. Comey met with the co-chiefs of the Southern District of New York Public Corruption Unit, who asked her to join the trial team for another one of the Southern District of New York major cases. The next day, July the 16th of 2025, Ms. Comey agreed to take on the case and went to speak with a colleague about joining the trials team. While in her colleague's office, Ms. Comey received an email at 5:47 p.m. from the DOJ's Justice Management Division, Director of Human Resources, with an attachment entitled Memorandum for Maurene R. Comey. The memorandum dated July the 16th of 2025 and signed by Francie Hakes, the Director of the Executive Office for the United States Attorneys, the same title of the official who awarded Ms. Comey the prestigious Director's Award for her work on the Maxwell trial. And this is what the email said. Notice of removal from federal services. This memorandum provides official notice that you are removed from your position of the United States Attorney, and then it gives her all of her attorney's information, Criminal Division, Southern District of New York, offices of the United States Attorneys, and from the Federal Services effective immediately. Pursuant to Article 2 of the United States Constitution and the laws of the United States, your employment with the Department of Justice is hereby terminated and you are removed from federal services effective immediately. If applicable, you may have the right to file an appeal of those removals with the U.S. Merit System Protection Board within 30 days of the effective date of this removal action. For more information on how to file the appeal with the MSBP, please visit, and it gives their website. All right. 48. Before receiving the termination memorandum, Ms. Comey received no notice or reason for the termination decision, and she was provided with no opportunity to respond. Ms. Comey then walked into the office of one of the co-chiefs of the Public Corruption Unit to inform her supervisors that she had been terminated. Those supervisors were visibly shocked and upset by the news. Immediately, Jay Clayton, then interim United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, and Sean Buckley, Deputy United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, came to the co-chief's office to speak to Ms. Comey and her supervisors. Ms. Comey asked the basis for the termination. The U.S. Attorney Clayton responded in substance, all I can say is that it came from Washington. Oh, wow. I can't tell you anything else. No other explanation was ever provided to Ms. Comey regarding the reason for her termination. The White House also has not provided a explanation for Ms. Comey's termination. The White House press secretary claims that the termination was a decision that was made by the Department of Justice. Ms. Comey's termination was illegal because it was based on her affiliation with James B. Comey and her perceived political affiliation and beliefs, or both. That's interesting. Let's see here. Ms. Comey, shortly after her receipt of the July 16th, 2025 memorandum attached herein. Okay, on July 16th, memorandum terminating Ms. Comey indicated twice that she was being removed from federal services. This term was not defined in the letter. However, and it gives case study, of all of the appointed positions in the executive, judicial, and legislative branches of the government of the United States, except positions in the ununiformed services. Okay, so this is just going based off now what she is attempting to do. So let's get into this, and then I think we're done. Okay, here we go. On information and belief, Ms. Comey's termination was designed to retaliate against her basis on her on being related or being a daughter of James B. Comey, or because of her political affiliation and beliefs, or both. No other plausible explanation exists for her termination, and certainly none was provided. President Trump has publicly criticized Mr. Comey for nearly a decade, beginning with President Trump's disapproval of actions Mr. Comey took when he served as director of the FBI. According to the website that complies President Trump's post on the social media platforms X and Truth Social, President Trump has thus far posted or reposted approximately 259 times about Mr. Comey, including describing him repeatedly as the worst FBI director in history. During his first presidential campaign, then candidate Trump called on the FBI to bring criminal charges against the Democratic presidential nominee, Hillary Clinton, after Mr. Comey announced that the FBI would not recommend that the Justice Department bring charges against her. President-elect Trump reposted that Mr. Comey stood in the way of the investigation and claimed that he was the best thing that ever happened to Hillary Clinton, and in that he gave her a free pass for many bad deeds. Okay, child. After he was elected, President Trump's criticism of Mr. Comey continued, including for the FBI investigation into Russia's role in the 2016 presidential election, which President Trump has repeatedly criticized as a hoax and as a witch hunt. On May the 9th of 2017, President Trump terminated Mr. Comey. In the following years, President Trump and Mr. Comey publicly and publicly criticized each other. President Trump has also continued to refer to Russia and Hillary Clinton's investigation as a hoax, witch hunt, and rigged probes, and claimed that Mr. Comey was a liar and that he and Hillary Clinton, among others, should be in jail. President Trump continues to criticize Mr. Comey, posting about Mr. Comey on Truth Social and recently on August the 13th and 14th of 2025. On Information and Belief, as reported by the press, while in office during his first term, President Trump told his White House chief of staff that he wanted a number of his perceived political enemies to be investigated by the IRS. On Information and Belief, and also as reported by the press in 2019, Mr. Comey was notified by the IRS that they would be auditing him. More recently, in May of 2025, Mr. Comey posted to social media an image showing seashells arranged to read 8647. President Trump and others within the Trump administration claim to interpret the 86 as slang term for eliminate and 47 as a reference to President Trump as the 47th president, describing it as a call of violence against President Trump. Mr. Comey described the post as a political message that was not associated with violence, but deleted the post. On May the 16th of 2025, President Trump appeared on Fox News and called Mr. Comey a dirty cop and accused him of publishing an assassination message. Y'all take care of it, mods. Thank you. The Department of Homeland Security and United States Secret Service reportedly investigated Mr. Comey in connection with his now deleted post. Following Mr. Comey's May 2025 social media post and other critical statements, President Trump's supporters, including Laura Loomer, called for the termination of Ms. Comey. If one of my managing mods are in the chat, if you could put it on subscriber only mode, I'd greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you so much, Anissa, for your Cash App, baby. I appreciate it. I lost my place. Lord have mercy. Let me see. Following Mr. Comey's May 2025 social media post and other critical statements, President Trump's supporters, including Laura Loomer, called for the termination of Ms. Comey. Ms. Loomer has met with President Trump in the Oval Office and, upon Information and Belief, has political influence in the Trump administration with respect to the firing of federal employees. President Trump has publicly stated that you don't want to be Loomered. If you were Loomered, you were in deep trouble. That's the end of your career in a sense, is what he said. Specifically, on May the 18th of 2025, Ms. Loomer, who has over 1.7 million followers on X, called for the firing of Mr. Comey and his liberal daughter, child, Democratic son-in-law, his liberal daughter and Democratic son-in-law. Child, she married to a man. Oh. Let me quit. Did you know that Maurene Comey, the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, serves as an assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, where she heads the violent organized crime unit. Okay, so these must be emails back and forth. Okay, and basically this mentions Pam Bondi, but I believe it gets. Let me see here. Hold on. Oh, these are all the social media posts. These are the social media posts from Pam Bondi, President Trump. I ain't gonna go through all of them because it's literally like 8 pages of it. But it's literally like their Truth Social post, their Facebook post, their X post, and all of that. On information and belief, Miss Loomer has also influenced the recent termination. Okay, so these are still emails. These are still emails. And then she puts case study in here. So let me just go ahead and sum it up because I'm done now. Let me just go ahead and sum it up. So basically, the rest of the pages are emails proving the emails that she had going back and forth, where she states that she never knew about any termination. But one of the things that kind of stuck out to me in regards to this is her having a conversation with actual Pam Bondi. And in these conversations that she's having with Pam Bondi, which is clearly before her termination, but she probably knew about the termination. They have been going back and forth for 2 months. And that's the reason why Pam Bondi is included in this lawsuit. Okay. So if you're just joining us again, Maurene Comey, who was the lead prosecutor in the Epstein trial and Sean Diddy Combs trial, she has sued the DOJ. Well, she has sued, let me give y'all the defendants again. She has sued the United States Department of Justice, or the DOJ, the Executive Office of President. She has sued Francie Hakes, Pamela Bondi, Executive Office for the United States Attorneys, Office of Personnel Management, and the United States of America. Now, all of these people have a Washington, D.C. address, honey. Okay. Hey, Miss Gina, what's going on? Hey, baby girl 1981, still working. Just stopped in to show my support. Love you and see you on the next live, honey. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, I just wanted to come in and tap in and give y'all, this information. And it just so happened that I was able to find the lawsuit. I'll share this lawsuit to my community wall, and that way, if you guys want to read it in full, it's in total. Who is this? Oh, okay. In total, it is 39 pages in total. It includes all of the exhibits. And there's a lot of footnotes at the bottom of this lawsuit. And so let's see, what is she asking for? All right, so here, violation of Administrative Procedural Act. Okay, that's the second cause of action. The first cause of action is violation of the United States Constitution, Articles 1 and 2, separation of powers against all defendants. Count 3, or what she's looking for 3, violation of the Administrative Procedure Act, ultra virus, in violation of statutory authority against all defendants. Okay, let's see. The fourth cause of action is violation of the First Amendment. The fifth cause of action is violation of the Fifth Amendment, procedural to due process. The sixth cause of action is violation of the Fifth Amendment, property interest. The seventh cause of action is violation of the Fifth Amendment, liberty interest. The eighth cause of action is violation of the Fifth Amendment, reputational harm. The ninth cause of action is declaratory judgment. The 10th cause of action is relief in nature of the memorandums that was placed on her. and she is demanding a jury prayer for relief. She just asking them to go back and look at her constitutional rights, and she wants her job back. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? What do y'all think based on this information? For those of us that follow this type of stuff, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I told y'all it was coming. I told y'all something was gonna happen, and it was going to be. I told y'all it was gonna happen. I did. I sure did. All right, let me see here. Yeah, talk to me. Let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Because I, for one, once I saw this, I was like, yeah, let me go live and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And y'all can't be mad at me. Honey, I ain't do it. I ain't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I just did not do it. Okay. They will slither out of not giving her job back. I believe that too, Mama Bees. I believe they're going to find every reason in this world not to give her job back. But, I mean, we shall see. You did say that she should get her job back. Yeah, I do think that it was in retaliation. She did lose her job, in my opinion, to retaliation. I mean, it was blatant. It was clear as day. It was clear as day. I told y'all when this first happened, I said this gives me retaliation. Every time this man get butthurt about something, he always wants somebody else to suffer on the back end. So, child, she's going to win because they had no grounds to terminate. Okay. And as long as Dorf is president, it will be a cold day in hell if she gets her job back. Oh, you think so? Okay. It was because of her dad. Yes, definitely because of her dad. He had a big influence on her firing. They should give her back pay. I agree. I just think this is interesting, honey. I think this is interesting. So I wanted to see what you guys thought of this. And like I said, once I saw it, I was like, oh, let's go live. So I appreciate you all. I'm going to send everybody over to El Teddy's house. This is going to redirect. So up at the top where it says, do you want to go? Just click go to his live. This is important because he's going to be talking about J.D. Vance spending tax dollars on racism, Kathy racist comments, and Little Nas X gets help. So y'all head over to El Teddy's house and we going to enjoy his show. All right. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, speaking of the next video, y'all, I don't know if I'm going to do this video tonight. I probably should have done this video before I did this one. But there's another video that I want to do, and I think you guys may have seen it. But Delta State University, there was a body of a black student found hanging from a tree. And I do want to talk about it. And there's another story that I do want to talk about as well. So y'all make sure that y'all get this out in the algorithm. YouTube is clearly playing with my numbers, clearly playing with my notifications, and I don't know why. Okay. But we do have a lot to talk about. All right. So I do appreciate you all. Thank you again. And I'll see y'all over there at El Teddy's house.